I am so happy that you're able to join us for this extended interview. Make sure to visit theoffbeatlife.com. Again, that's theoffbeatlife.com to get more killer resources. Hey listeners, have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? Lucky for you, I have created a new site that will help you learn how to launch, grow, and monetize your own show. I offer one-on-one mentorship programs, and I'm launching an ebook, How to Create a Profitable Podcast, that can help you take your podcast from hobby to profitable business. Visit howtocreateapodcast.com to learn more. Again, that's howtocreateapodcast.com. See you there. Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming back and joining us in our extended interview with Courtney, where she's going to share with us how to realistically transition from your 9 to 5 and create more freedom in your life. Hey Courtney, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Thank you so much for coming back. Before you give us all of your amazing tips and tricks, can you tell us a little bit more about you and why you live an offbeat life?
Yeah, so I'm Courtney. I'm from America, but I currently live in Singapore. For the last 5 years, I have been both teaching overseas, working from my laptop, and just traveling as much as possible.
You have been doing so many different things with your life, and you transitioned from a life that most people would think would be the American dream, right? You had a house, you had a great paying job, and you left all of that to travel abroad, to work abroad, to teach abroad, and you had this incredible transition. Now you're going to tell us how we can do that as well. There's so many things that we see online that may seem a little too far-fetched. What are your tips for us, Courtney, and how to actually create this lifestyle and make it more realistic, the transition?
Yes, exactly. As I have gone through this process too, I've been really overwhelmed by things that I see online courses and ebooks and things that promise, in a couple of months you can be making this much money and that much money. And so it's more about transitioning into something that you are passionate about. And it can be overwhelming to kind of figure out what that is. There's so many options out there and different routes you can go. And it doesn't have to be just one route either. And it's something you can start doing today to get you to your ultimate goal, whether that's, just time freedom or location freedom.
How can somebody actually take the first steps to do it? Because like you said, there's so many different information online and we are overloaded with all of them.
Mm-hmm. So start researching for one. There's so much information about the different types of digital nomad jobs that you can find. You might even nowadays be able to find something in your current field that you can actually do remotely that you didn't necessarily know existed. A lot of companies are recognizing the benefits of that today. And so that's where I've also kind of put together a course where I want to help people find these resources and know how to research this and also start getting connected. And there's great Facebook groups that can help you maybe see what different people are doing and learn from them to find what your path is.
So talking about resources, are there a few that you can give us tips on where we should look so that you can help us during our search?
Yeah, so a good one that I've seen, there's one that's called hourtofly.com. They post a lot of remote jobs. Usually those are still with companies, so you're not necessarily working for yourself. So that can give you more security. Also, websites like freelancer.com and also upgrade.com. Those ones are ones that you can find little freelance jobs that maybe you can start doing even as you're currently working in your 9 to 5 to gain some experience and maybe test some things out to maybe turn it into something that you actually like to do full time, like virtual assistant, social media management, things like that you can get a little taste of and then maybe find out that's something you actually really like to do.
What about Facebook groups or other community groups like that? Where can we go to find advice?
Yeah, so I really love the Facebook group Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs, I think it is. There's always women on there who are very inspiring, people who have their own businesses. You can meet business coaches. You can meet all kinds of digital nomads in there. And I love that it's other powerful women, and also people that aren't quite there yet but want to learn. So it's really, really cool community. I'm in a couple that are specifically digital nomad groups. I don't know the exact names of the Facebook groups offhand, but if you search in the search bar for digital nomad groups, a bunch of them come up and you can learn about different jobs. Some of them have job postings. And even I've seen like different jobs that people have said that they do that I'm like, oh my gosh, I never really thought of that you could make a business out of that or do that, but it's very smart. So a lot of good ideas can come from that as well.
It's amazing what types of jobs that you can actually create with the internet right now, because it's crazy. So, like you said, Courtney, there's so many mind-boggling things that people actually do online that you never thought could make money, and they do. So yeah, you could definitely start anything you want.
Yes, for sure.
And it's also great that you are showing us that we can do this before we leave our 9 to 5, because that's one of the things that most people are afraid to do is not having that security. And it could really stop them from taking that step to a life that they really want to have. So now, Courtney, are there any other tips that you would like to give us in order to make this transition more easier for us?
Yeah, again, I would say don't be afraid to kind of start now, even if you don't feel like you're ready to make that step. Just as I did teaching, it took me about a year from when I first started looking into it until I actually went. It doesn't mean it has to take that long, but I fully relate to those who, you have bills to pay. Maybe you have things that keep you in your position. You can't just give it all up and jump into that world, the digital nomad and travel world. And I think sometimes some of these things you read makes you feel like you have to get there to be successful. But it's more about really finding something you love. I think you need to look at it as that. It shouldn't be going into it for money, but to be able to transition into a lifestyle that really can make you happy. So I think it's really important to do the inner work first to find that right thing for you. So my biggest thing is just don't hold off to start making some changes now until you feel like you're 100% ready, because then you'll never do it. So start researching now. If you already know what you have in your mind, take a course on it or start reaching out to people who already do it and get advice.
Yeah, that's such a great way of putting it, because you really just have to pull the trigger. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting on it for years and years and years, and it's just going to be another regret.
Right.
And yeah, well, thank you so much, Courtney. If our listeners want to know more about you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram. My username is Journey with Court, or my website is nourishthefreelife.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here, Courtney, and for sharing with us all of your tips and tricks. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope you enjoyed this extended interview with Courtney. Make sure to visit theoffbeatlife.com. Again, that's theoffbeatlife.com to get the full interview where she shares how she took a realistic transition from her 9 to 5 to working overseas. Thanks for joining me on this extended interview. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. We can also chat some more on Facebook at The OB Life. I'll talk to you soon.